Elaine Heltman, and I play principal oboe with the Santa Fe Symphony. Let's see if I can get my chats to appear. Not yet. Well, while I'm figuring that out, let's see what's down here. Nope, that's not the right thing. Well, you know, it's an experiment. I've never done this before. I can't even see myself right now. This is hysterical. Let's see, will this work? Here I am. Let's see if I click this chat. New message. No, that's not mine. There we go. Hello, everyone. I'm now seeing people. Yay. Wow, fantastic. So I have a few first questions, and then I have a little ditty to play for you all. Someone asked me what inspired me to play the oboe. And it's a little bit of a story. I was in third grade, and our class was, we had a field trip to hear the New York Philharmonic. And we went to Avery Fisher Hall, which, of course, what was it called back then? No, I don't remember. Anyway, there's a soundproof room where kids can go and classes can go. The whole class went, all 32 of us. So it was a big place to hear a rehearsal. And of course, the first thing I saw was everyone being quiet and the oboe player giving the A. And everyone was listening. And I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. I wonder if I want to do that. And then I heard, it was Ralph Gomberg at the time. I heard him play and I just fell in love with the sound. It was like a voice to me. And I enjoyed, excuse me, I'm going to get some water here, enjoyed singing since a young age. And I've always sang throughout grammar school and high school. And I took singing, sang in choruses all through college. And here was someone singing through their instrument, and it was just fabulous to me, and kind of a revelation. And I decided that's the instrument I wanted to play. Besides, there were only two of them, or sometimes fewer in a band, and I just didn't want to be one amongst many, flutes or clarinets. Now, speaking of singing, I am going to play the ending of Domini Dei from the Gloria, Vivaldi's Gloria, which I've played many times, and most recently with our choral conductor, fabulous Carmen Flores Mansi, and I dedicate this to her and also to all the choristers who we miss. I miss playing with voices. It's a fabulous experience that just envelops you in a different kind of sound than just with instrumental. So this is the recap of the beginning, which is oboe alone, but it plays a lot of the themes from, or the main theme from the piece. Now, typically, I have Dana playing the bass line with me in a very solid fashion, so I have something to bounce off to and to keep me honest. She's not here, darn it. So I'm going to ask you to help me. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to hear you, but we'll do this virtually. You're listening, I'm playing, so we'll see how this works out. So this is about the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I want you to either sing or hear in your head is just bum, 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 bum. And I'll play along with you. So here we go. 2, 3. I've always loved playing that piece with Carmen. It's just a beautiful thing to play with a voice and meld the voice of your own instrument with the human voice. Now I'm going to get my computer a little bit closer here. Welcome to our sort of all-purpose room here. This is, you can't really see it. Let me see. There it is. My sewing machine is behind me. And then on the other side are all my reed making equipment. And then we have a computer here. Lots going on here. So oops, my phone just turned off here. Let's get it back on. All right, it was another question asking me if I had played any other instruments. Let's see, I'm just going down here. And you know, when I was in college, I did. Of course, I was a music ed major. I had to learn all the instruments. And that was just really fun. And I was very interested in teaching and sharing my love of music with everyone, and especially young students and also high school students, so that they could learn to enjoy music as I did and still do. So I learned all the instrument. I play English horn, not as very much at all any longer, but I have. But I don't really play any other instruments. Hello, everyone that's on there. Laurie is saying, you just wanted to sit in front of the clarinets, and that's true. I love sitting in front of Laurie in particular, and Perry and Laura and Daniel. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see everyone here today. Let's see. Did I miss conducting Pancakes on the Plaza? I miss also playing on Pancakes on the Plaza. Many of you might not know this, but I'm a wannabe percussionist. And I play mostly snare drum, bass drum, and some auxiliary instruments with the Santa Fe Concert Band. And I've done that for a very long time. And it's a fabulous outlet. And playing with just a bunch of really wonderful people. It's a beautiful family that we've developed, just like with the symphony, but with a band. So I've sort of become the assistant conductor when Greg's not available. And a few years ago, I conducted Pancakes on the Plaza. And it was an amazing experience. I don't know how many people were there, but it was jam-packed. And we started, of course, with the Star Spangled Banner and went on to lots of show tunes. And we had Laurie Rossi was our guest conductor. She did a fabulous job, as she always does. And it was just really exciting to do that. So completely different than playing oboe, but making music in a different way is fabulous. It's fun. And that particularly really pushed my envelope a bit because it's not something I do all the time. I certainly have a lot of experience sitting in an orchestra, but not in front of everybody else. Hi, Lori and Carmen. Carmen, I don't know if you made it when I just played something for you. It was just her birthday. Everyone chat and say, happy birthday, Carmen. So the band is one of my outlets, other things that I do. And during this crazy time of COVID, it's been difficult to keep practicing. There was a big emotional letdown. You can't deny it when everything was just shut down. And I have come back to practicing, and I'm still teaching online, either via Facebook or not Facebook, FaceTime, or Google Chat has a little video selection there that I use. I haven't used Zoom that much. It just, the connectivity just doesn't seem to work that well for me. But another thing I've been doing that's really been keeping me busy and feeling connected to the Santa Fe and the New Mexico community is that I'm back sewing again. I sewed a lot as a kid and a young adult, and as a mom with a young child, and making costumes and all kinds of fun stuff. But I hadn't done it in a really long time. And this old girl behind me is a singer that was made, I looked it up, April 24th, 1932. That singer machine was born. It was manufactured, and I oiled it up and got it going. And I'm sewing now. I'm making masks for Operation Bandana. Here's one of them. It's this type. And I also make the kind, this one is just pinned together, ready to sew together with the ties as well, where you can put whatever you need on the inside if you want to add to it. But it's been fabulous for me to get back to working with fabric art. And I think I'm going to continue doing something like that in the future, and see where that takes me. But I have to say, I'm really happy to be trying to do something that's helpful to the community. I'm so looking forward to joining my colleagues again in the music community, in the classical music community in particular, and making music together. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Let me see. I have another question down here. Let's see. What's my favorite memory with the Santa Fe Symphony? There are a lot of them. Um, we've played so many fabulous concerts with unbelievable soloists, and it's hard to choose one. But I think one that's always stands out to me that's always really fun is when we get together with the students from the Santa Fe Youth Symphony, which is such a fabulous asset to New Mexico and, of course, Santa Fe. And I have my students sitting next to me, and we're playing some amazing music. And the experience that they get is it really pushes them forward in their playing, because suddenly they're hearing the energy from the professionals around them, and it propels them to a new level. And to me, that's really exciting. I mean, all my students improved dramatically after that first rehearsal in particular, when they realized, oh, so that's how fast that goes. So that's a really great memory. Of course, filming for The Majesty of Music was fabulous, and especially the first live performances we did of that, which were a little bit different, were just so much fun. And Dave had a lot to do with that, and narrating. It's just really endless. It's been a wonderful, varied career. Let's see, there's a question here. Can you tell us a little about the beginnings of the Santa Fe Symphony? Well, let's see. Someone was reminding me the other day, it was on Facebook. Joan Zucker posted a picture at her house that she had. I can't remember the street now, but it's near the museums, where we all met for the very first time and started brainstorming and developing our ideas, excuse me, about, gosh, if we're playing the music, as musicians, we want to have a say in how all this transpires, how the music is chosen, how the conductor is chosen. Does the conductor resonate with us, not just um, as a figurehead? It is a collaboration between all of us, and it's even more than that. When you're on stage playing together, something special happens where there's a connectivity that the music is the vehicle for, between and amongst the musicians on stage and the conductor and the audience. There's something that happens. It's very special. Um, and I think we all feel it to different degrees and in different ways. But there's that universal connectivity that music provides that for many of us it becomes, hey Beth, almost and it's I should just say it's like a spiritual experience in some ways because you're transported into another realm along with everyone else. You're just moving on this river of music and playing with it and going one way or the other, just depending upon what's happening around you. So I got off point there. And so then a few, we're talking about the beginnings of the symphony. A few weeks later, we all got together at Greg and my house, at our house, and with some cookies and wine. We put the whole thing together, and we were putting the bylaws together with Chuck Nolan helped write them, primarily an attorney in Santa Fe. And we put on our first concert at St. Francis Auditorium, and for free. The musicians played for free, and just whatever we got at the door propelled us forward. And we really never will look back. So it was a very exciting experience, and it's the the environment, the bylaws that we've put together. I won't say otherwise. They're difficult to work with. You have to work with everyone and get everyone's opinion and figure things out amongst yourselves, and all within this framework. It's not just one person saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And everyone says, okay, let's go. It's no, we're working on this together. And it's an incredible experience, but it's, I think, well worthwhile because the attitudes of the musicians towards each other, there is no, I mean, there's an administration, of course, there has to be to propel, to make everything work. But we know we're all in this together. It's not adversarial. And I mean, that's what I've always loved about it. Let's see, what other things do I have here? Um, let's see. Oh, so here's a funny one. Have I ever given Greg pointers on conducting the concert bed? Yeah, I guess I am a little bit of a backseat driver sometimes. Um, but I try not to. I really try to just detach from it all. Yeah, that's my husband up there conducting, but so what? I'm back here fooling around in the percussion section, which is basically what we do. Of course, we're very serious musicians and play the parts perfectly, but we also crack jokes and talk, which you can't do that much to that degree in the oboe section. Also, my role is very different as principal oboe, and maybe someday when we get back together in person, I will behave as I do in the orchestra, as I do as a percussionist. Oh, that will be interesting for sure. Let's see. So, yes, sometimes I'm a backseat conductor, criticizer. I haven't been part of too many virtual performances. I have been using a cappella with my students to put together duets to keep them involved. And it's a lovely app. It's not particularly intuitive, but we make it work. And they're having a lot of fun with it, as am I. And that we're finding that helpful. Matter of fact, I'm going to be putting together a small a cappella with a clarinet player from our band, just to keep her playing and have some fun. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Oh gosh. Let's see. Are there any questions? Let me see if I can scroll around here, because I can just keep talking about any number of things about what we've been doing. Let's see. I'm going up and down. Yes, Laura Dwyer. A cappella. Yeah, it's you sort of love to hate it a little bit. One aspect of it is that there's a click track, and which means you're hearing the tempo, the metronome in your ear. And so there's not a lot of room for expansion and rubato and that kind of creativity. But it's still a lot of fun. Let's see, Lori Lavato, how has the oboe changed since Beethoven? And has that changed how oboists interpret solos? Wow. So let me think about that. Yes, I mean, the oboe has definitely changed since the era of Beethoven, just physically, and also how we make reeds and how well or not the oboe is in tune. I don't know if that's changed how oboists interpret solos so much. I mean, there's such a wide variety when you're listening to different recordings. For instance, if you're playing the solo from Beethoven's Fifth, a matter of fact, I'll let me go on a tangent here for a second. Um, After college, I thought I was going to be a music teacher. And a bunch of us went to Central Park to hear the New York Philharmonic play live in Sheep's Meadow. And we're listening, and one of the tunes was Beethoven's Fifth. And the oboist, of course, plays this beautiful, expansive solo. It's very short, but the quality of the sound and the timbre and the voice of the sound, I nearly stood up and said, "Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to sound like." I mean, that's definitely what I thought. And that oboist was Joe Robinson, who happened to live in New Jersey, and I was in New Jersey at that time. Believe it or not, I was a band director when I first got out of school. But then I started studying with Joe. I'd go to his house, and um, I would have 4 hour lessons and ended up eating dinner with his family. It was marvelous, but it changed my oboe playing life. And after that, I realized I needed to play the oboe. And so I stopped teaching. I only lasted 1 year. Uh, and believe it or not, I had about 148 piece marching band. Wow, that was pretty crazy. Just coming out of college, and I didn't really look that different than the seniors, so it was tough, but I had a good time doing that. So back to Beethoven, if you listen to various interpretations of that solo, a lot of people do play it differently. They'll put the emphasis on different notes. Some notes will be longer than other people play them. Some will be shorter, and I've certainly played it myself many, many different ways. Um, Whoops, there goes my piece of paper. Come back here. Excuse me. Um, let's see. Someone asked, "Does your son still play an instrument?" And he did play in. I don't know if you can see that. My something automatic came up. He did play with the symphony through the youth orchestra, and he does still play the trumpet. And he's going to be graduating from college with an engineering degree really soon. Super exciting. Um, all right. Some folks are asking me what were some of my favorite pieces that I played. And then someone has also asked me what was my favorite piece as a child to listen to or to play. And I grew up in a family that listened to music all the time. My parents had WQXR in New York City on most of the day. So I'd come home from school, it'd be on. On the weekends, it would just be on all the time. And so I heard a lot of classical music. I heard some jazz too, mostly big band, a lot of Frank Sinatra. So I heard a lot of the classics early on. And when I got a chance to play them, I think particularly Mozart, it became one of Mozart is extremely difficult to play. It's so precise, and and everything has to. I mean, the phrasing is so delicate. And I just enjoy playing it so much. But I love to listen to it too. Um, and I think it was a really favorite time for me when we were playing more Mozart at one point. You know, the symphony has evolved, and also just classical music and what orchestras play. moves around through the years. Sometimes there's more Tchaikovsky, and some now we're really evolving into, I think, a fabulous era of acknowledging and discovering a lot of music from all ethnicities and all from all over the world and incorporating them into our concerts. And you'll start hearing that in some of our concerts. And it's pretty exciting to broaden our horizons that way. But my parents like Mahler a lot, and I like Mahler a lot. But of course, I know, I grew up hearing a lot of Tchaikovsky. We would go to hear see the Nutcracker at City Center in New York and Lincoln Center a few times, and it became a staple in our household. And also with Greg and with our son Mark, it became a staple that we'd listen to the Nutcracker every all through the holiday season. Of course, I've been playing it too. So, and that's always fun. I never tire of playing Handel's Messiah or the Nutcracker. Let's see, there was something else that came up, and let's see if I can get to it. But I'll turn my phone. But while I'm getting my phone back on, I'll just tell you a bit about other things we've been doing that have nothing to do with music. But all about like how we're spending our time. We have a big garden this year, and let's see, two different kinds of lettuce, string beans, honey boat squash, honey stick squash, zucchini. Oh gosh, anybody want some zucchini? You know how they just go crazy. Uh, we have some spinach. Spinach is tough in our soil because we're doing it straight in the ground. We don't have raised beds. It's pretty tough. But Greg designed, and I helped him put in a extensive um, irrigation system, drip irrigation. And so, in case anyone's interested, 3 times a day it goes off for about 15 minutes each. And the different sections of the yard or the garden have different repellers that put out different amounts of water. So some plants need more, some plants need less, and that's all been figured out. Of course, we have giant sunflowers growing, which are so much fun, and some wildflowers, tomatoes. I can't wait to get a fresh tomato. And here's something I'm sure a lot of you did. You watched Hamilton. Holy cow. I cried through most of it, I have to admit. It's just so fantastic. These performers are simply amazing. And I so miss Broadway. I love to go to Broadway. I also grew up going to Broadway. Believe it or not, in high school, we'd go to a Broadway show twice a year. This is Saddlebrook, New Jersey, which is at the intersection. Okay, ready for this? You go out from New York City over the George Washington Bridge. Go out Route 80, where Route 80 intersects the Parkway and the Turnpike is Little Saddlebrook. And that's where I grew up. It's about 10 minutes as the crow flies. Of course, traffic can be hideous outside of New York City. And in the high school, the band director and the choral director, remember, I was singing too, would each bring us to Radio City, and we'd see the Christmas or Easter show. And so and a Broadway show. So I'd always be seeing shows. It was fantastic. So someone's asking me, so this is a secret? What leads you to the percussion section in the Santa Fe concert band? No, it's not a secret. I've been doing it for 30 odd years. But instead of playing the oboe, it's something that I can have fun at that's completely different than the oboe. It doesn't use my embouchure. I'm not doing something different here that will affect my oboe playing. I'm kind of finicky with what happens over here and playing instruments than in the double reed family. It's just how my muscles work. And so percussion was perfect. And plus, I could just fool around and have fun and tell jokes and so that's why I'm in the percussion section. Um, Yes, and Stephanie was saying that here that her school field trips also went to Broadway's, which were Broadway show, amazing. And I always wondered, how did we ever get tickets for a huge band in the front rows of the mezzanine? I don't know how that was ever possible, but our band director did it. Oh, that's right. Here's another thing. And we always had lunch at Mama Leone's. It was great. It was really wonderful. Now let's see. What else do we have here? Um, Oh, what have we been cooking? Well, lots of different kinds of zucchini dishes, as you can imagine. I think what we did for July 4th is we have a smoker. We've only used this as the fourth time we've used it. It's been a lot of fun. And we smoked what's called a Boston butt. And it took, I don't know, 15 plus hours. We didn't quite have the fire high enough, so it took longer than expected, but it was so much fun and so delicious. We made two different kinds of barbecue sauces for it, a North Carolina, like vinegary type based sauce, and then a more traditional hot, sweet, sour, hot, sweet barbecue sauce, which is really good. We made our own coleslaw to go with that. And by the way, we have two purple, I almost said coleslaw heads, cabbage heads in the garden. They grow so slowly, but they're slowly forming. Um, and oh, cornbread. It's just fantastic. But we like to cook with a lot of different spices. One of our favorite quick dishes are turkey tacos with coriander and cumin, garlic, and it has a little salt. So you saute some onion and till it's almost clear, and then you throw in your turkey, and just depends on what we have, whether you have dark or a light meat. And as you're cooking the turkey and everything together, that's when you throw in all the spices. And oh my gosh, bouquet. We grind our own coriander and cumin. It's just amazing. And it really doesn't take any more time than shaking it. I mean, okay. So you have to spend 15 seconds grinding your spices, but the flavor is fresh and amazing, and your house smells absolutely delicious. So that's really fun. All right, from the rep for next season, what am I looking forward to? Oh my gosh. Um, well, I'm I'm looking forward to learning a lot of the new music that's coming out that we're playing on next season. I'm on the programming committee, and of course, excuse me, we're trying to figure out what's going to happen in the next 6 months, and it's not an easy thing to do. And so we're looking at a lot of new music to try, and a diversity of music from a diversity of composers. And I think that's what excites me most is playing the music by women composers, by people of color, and mixing up our repertoire to an extent that I think we've never seen before, particularly in Santa Fe. And that's really exciting. Oh, Catherine, I've been sewing masks. Yes, you missed it. I will show you again. Here, this is a different one. So here's one mask. And this is the kind that goes like that. Ta-da! And the other type is with ties. Come over here, you. And looks like this. And it has ties. And it also has a pocket where you can put a liner. And I'm happy to say that I've sewing for Operation Bandana, New Mexico. Personally, I think I'm up to 80 something masks. That's why I'm still working full time. I'll tell you a little about my full time job that I do in addition to, I have a double career, professional oboist And I worked as a paralegal for many years. Of course, you need something to supplement your musical life in New Mexico. You can't just do playing alone. There's something, everyone does something else, whether it's teaching or having a different jobs. I've worked as a paralegal many years, and I just started a new job with the state land office as a project manager because I've had a lot of management experience in different jobs I've had, and that's a lot of fun. Oh, someone's asking me, how many reads have I made in quarantine? Oh my, not as many as I should. Actually, I've made quite a few because I'm still making reads for my students. For me, I have made some reads for myself, but um, I think it's hard to keep making reads for upcoming. Well, usually I'm making many reads a week for upcoming performances and practicing. Um, as I worked full time, I practiced every lunch hour in a basement or in a bathroom or in a closet all these years. And then I practice again when I got home. I'm a very efficient practicer. um, and so you need to have, oboe reads only last about 10 hours. And so you need a lot of reads. And constantly I would have reads on hand in the process. So I'd be always making reads, finishing reads, and playing on them, and it'd be a constant process of moving things in and out. I have two read cases with finished reads or nearly finished reads, and then the blanks that are partially scraped, and some of them are further on. Reads, oboe reads were not nearly as long as bassoon reads, which I don't know how long you can really um, massage a bassoon reed along, but really oboe reeds don't last that long. I guess about 10 hours, but there have been concerts, if it's like a Beethoven, all Tchaikovsky, something where you're playing constantly, Mahler, um, I'll blow out a reed in a concert, which means to say blow out that it's not that the reed doesn't play any longer, it just doesn't play the way I'd like it to. So what that really means is it doesn't have the response that I like. When I take an inhale, I'm set to play. I want that note to just boop, come right out. It's not just me that produces that sound, but it's the physics of my air blowing through the reed and the reed vibrates. If the reed is worn out and that vibration doesn't happen as it used to, then it's more of a struggle to play on that reed. It might not articulate as well. Might not be able to play low notes as well, or play a beautiful diminuendo. Um, and Maya, one of my former students, hey Maya, just graduated college, right on. And you're going on for your master's, so proud of you. When you always need those reads when your student texts you needing a read for Sunday for their Monday lesson. Oh, what has that happened? Yeah, no, and it happens, and things come up. They're an experience. They become part of your life. You're always looking for better cane. The majority of cane I buy comes from France. Interestingly enough, it's grown amongst the grapevines in the vineyards in France. Um, so that's where most of my cane comes from. Um, I buy it through a third party. I don't buy it direct from France anymore. I did for a time, but I know I haven't done that for a while. And so the reeds changed. All my reeds changed as soon as it hit 90 degrees. They said, "Excuse me, do you really want me to vibrate? I don't want to. It's too hot out." So finding a reed just to play that little short piece in the beginning was a challenge, but so it's an interesting life as playing the oboe, which I've absolutely loved. Wouldn't trade it all for anything. Would I play another tune? Well, unfortunately, I haven't had my reed soaking, so I've that'll take a moment to put that together, um, and we're sort of moving along on time right now. why don't, if I'm asked to come back, I'll play something much longer and I'll play it more in the middle. And hopefully the weather won't have changed right immediately. But I'd love to. I'd love to hear about what someone type in chat what you've been watching or doing. I'll tell you what I've been watching. So we've been binging. We binged Picard. Yes, we paid for CBS All Access for just the summer. And I've got to tell you, if you're a Star Trek fan, it's worth it completely. It's the whole enchilada, it's the whole picture, soup to nuts. It's every aspect of it is very well done. You will not be disappointed. I know it's pretty silly, but I grew up on Star Trek. What can I say? Begging my folks, no, we can't have dinner yet. Star Trek is on. Anyway, so let's see if I have any more questions here, or well, let's see if I can get my phone to move around. I think that's about it. If there's anything, yes, Star Trek. Yes, Picard. Anything else anybody wants to know about? Obviously, I'll talk about lots of different subjects of things that I like to do. And yes, you're right, that is that antique 1932 beautiful sewing machine behind me that I learned on when I think I was 12. Um, my mom gave me lessons, and I just really took to it. I kind of had that mechanical mind and how things work. So if I keep her oiled, she does just fine. So let's see what else. Has Greg made ribs? Um, Here, let me put my reed in the water, see if it'll work. No, we haven't smoked any ribs yet, but we intend to. We're still learning how to use the smoker. It's a fairly rudimentary one from Cuisinart with wood. It's not a fancy electric one, and so it's sometimes difficult to find out the exact temperature things need to be cooked at. What wine goes best with making reeds? Well, I think maybe a cheeky red. Something bold and deep with lots of color, lots of it lasts long on the palate. Just like a good oboe or a good reed. It gives you lots of color and it blossoms as it ages. Oh, what is this? I missed someone's question about the oboe playing to the A, to which everyone tunes. I was told it was because it takes perfect pitch to play the oboe. Oh, yeah. Ha ha ha. No, I don't have perfect pitch. The oboe can have a beautiful straight sound that everyone can hear and focus in on. And it's a beautiful projecting sound that everyone can hear. And it's a nice solid sound with not too many, well, it can be very colorful if you want it to be. But I think that's the main reason the oboe plays the A. And I guess I really wish that oboists were paid per A. Especially when you're playing an opera and you have to play it more than once, um, sometimes 3 times per act. So that's always fun. Let's see if my reed needs a little more time. What I think I'll just do is, I don't know if Carmen is still on because I think she might have missed the tune I played for her. And I'll play a different version of it, which is from the beginning, the Domini Deus from the Gloria, Vivaldi Gloria, which is a soprano and oboe aria, which is just simply beautiful, that I enjoy playing. Let's see how I'm doing here. Okay, I think it's working. Yay. Okay, here we go. No idea how this sounds through this laptop. It'll be fabulous. So this is just the opening. And right after I would finish this, the beautiful soprano solo comes in. Oh, thank you, everyone. Well, I guess that's about it for today. It's been about 46 minutes, 47 minutes, and I've had such a fantastic time being on Facebook Live. Thank you all for joining me here. I hope you had a good time. And many thanks to Catherine for walking me through how to get on and figure all this out. Many thanks to Daniel for helping set all this up and his leadership. It's a difficult road this year. So thank you all very much for being here. And someday we will meet again in person. And I so look forward to that. So love to everyone and have a fabulous weekend. Thank you, everyone.